Okay, all right, let's move away from there now to the EPL. It's heating up. There's quite a running. When I talk about the running, of course, Liverpool have been confirmed as champions for over a week now. There is nothing there to be said. But the Champions League places and, of course, European places, because relegation basically is already confirmed, and that is where it is going to be quite interesting. But just before we go into the exact details of what will happen with the fixtures, there's quite an interesting game tonight. Manchester United will be up against Chelsea. Let's take a look at the nominations, which came out just yesterday for the Player of the Season 2024-2025. And we have here Morgan Gibbs-White is there of Nottingham Forest. There's Ryan Gravenberch. For me, the major difference when it comes to Liverpool, there's Alexander Isak, clinical. A number of clubs want to go for him. Brandon Mbeumo of Brentford. There is Declan Rice. Maybe those 2 free kick goals against Real Madrid would have put him in contention for that. Yeah, Mohamed Salah. What can be said about this guy? What can be said? Front runner, basic front runner for the award. Captain Virgil van Dijk, the aura which he puts up there. And of course, there's Chris Wood. Chris Wood, who had a breakthrough season for Nottingham Forest, scored the goals for Nottingham Forest to be great there. So let me just have your take before we move to manager of the season. Edgar, who would you pick as your player of the season?
I'll give it to the Egyptian king. I would say it's Salah, of course. And if it's not Salah, it's going to be Isak. But again, if Newcastle beats Arsenal and for some reason ends second, then I think Isak is going to be a very big contender for that one. But again, I think it's Musala. Definitely.
All right, so for this one, you can go, like I'm now right here on the Premier League website. You can go on the website and vote. Now, the fans have a vote. The players have a vote. Of course, managers also do have a vote. So it's spread out. So you can go out here and vote for who you'd want. Edgar would go for Mohamed Salah. And I think I might agree. I might agree. Based on this, I would probably say Salah 1. Right? Who would you go for number 2, Edgar?
Yeah, I think Isak. Isak would definitely be number 2. The reason is now you have Newcastle in the top 4. And again, there is a very big possibility that Newcastle might even end second.
Okay.
If things go their way. So yes, there is a possibility.
Okay. So probably let's go for Isak, maybe number 2. I'll pick a Gravenberch because this guy is one of the main reasons why Liverpool contended for the title, of course, but every one of them here are wonderful players. So let's know your pick for this season when it comes to the player of the season. Let's know right when you have to do that. Now let's move over to the manager of the season. Now this is quite another interesting one. Yeah, this should be quite easy. But let's go, Edgar. We have Thomas Frank of Brentford. We have Newcastle United. Of course, Eddie Howe. There is wonderful job at Nottingham Forest. Nuno Espirito Santo. Wonderful job. Of course, there's Pereira of Wolves. And of course, Arne Slot. Arne Slot.
Why did you say it like that? That's a political way to say it. Arne Slot.
It's his first season.
Yes, it
is. He came in. He wasn't expected. Do you know when Pep Guardiola had bought Savino, that first few seasons, Mahrez and Savino were even doing bromance on social media. They say, they don't give them season. But this dude came in. So for me, undeniably, number 1.
He is.
Number one. Manager of the season, Arne Slot. Number 2, I would go for this guy. Second place, Nuno Espirito Santo, with what he has done with Nottingham Forest. They were third for a very long time. Recently, now there's quite the discussion with Taiwo Awoniyi and Marianakis with what happened at that particular game. There's a whole lot. We'll tackle more of that tomorrow on the beautiful game, 11 a.m. Make sure you tune in. But he has done an excellent job this season. All right, so let's see what we can go for now. Let's see. Okay, let's take this now. Now let's look at it for the young player of the season. Let's wrap up the young player of the season. Who would you go? Why is Kopama? What's Kopama doing in this list? What is Kopama doing in this list? Saliba is still young. And they say some names. These are the young people now. Elanga, these are the young people now. Gravenberch, Hudson. Saliba looks like 8 years older than his age. Yeah, but he's just 22. But man, the guy looks 30. There's so much composure for him and all of that.
Yeah, so for me, I think I'll give it to Hutsu. I think the Bournemouth defender is just the right guy to have it. I know he recently, with the news is that he's recently going to Real Madrid.
Oh, yes.
But I think for me, the guy has been super fantastic this
Real
season.
Madrid is where he has his preference. Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, they put him bids. Like, they want him. But he's Spanish, so he would want to definitely go. And how many people win a battle against Real Madrid when it comes to transfers? Almost nobody.
Yeah, you're totally right. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern, these are the clubs every player would want to play with. So if he's getting Real Madrid now, why not take it?
All right. So
I hope he's not a one-season wonder, though.
What is it? Even before then, from his days in Italy, Jose Mourinho had already mentioned that, look, this guy is a man for the future. From his days in Roma and all of that, his days in Italy, solid guy, great defender, I must say. All right, let's take a look at the fixtures. Now, this is the big one. Today's fixtures. Friday, today, 16th March, Aston Villa will be up against Tottenham Hotspurs, and Chelsea will be up against Manchester United. This is quite interesting. Next week, they're going to be playing the finals of the Europa League. These two clowns are going to be, in fact, I should not be using this kind of this thing for them. Let me use this one. This, you see them. These two, El Clownico in the Europa League final. Where does it happen? 16th and 17th position. Terrible, pathetic season. Manchester United have decided they're not even going to celebrate safe if they do win and whatever and all of that. But you see, Aston Villa will be taking up these two. Aston Villa and Chelsea are fighting for their lives when it comes to a top 5, by the way, position. Now it's already confirmed that England will have 6 representatives in the Champions League next season, because these two clubs, one of them is going to win. They're both English, and the winner is going to play in the Champions League, and they are not in the top 5 position. But these two are fighting for the top 5 position. Chelsea, Aston Villa, very fast. Edgar, wrap up. What are your thoughts on this particular match? Chelsea, of course, going for the title. Aston Villa. I think while we're doing at this, Edgar, while you're going on, let's take a look at the table as it is at the particular moment while we're talking about this. Yeah,
so for me, I think it's going to be a clear win for Aston Villa and also for Chelsea. Manchester United have been terrible lately. I also feel like Aston Villa has everything it takes to beat Tottenham with the way Tottenham have been playing. They've lost a couple of players as well recently. So I am sure that Aston Villa will be winning that match as well as Chelsea.
All right, yeah, like what you're talking about now. See what I'm saying? There's a battle there. Chelsea and Aston Villa, look at this. They are on the same points. You see this? They are on the same points. They need this particular match. Aston Villa needs to find a way. They are trying to fight to get into that 5th position. It's not one of them is going to miss out on that Champions League spot. Wow. So they are going to go all out for today's match. Manchester United, of course, and Tottenham, they've been awful even up until now, because they are going to focus for next week's match. So you'd say it's a Chelsea and Aston Villa win. If you want to, for those of you who are investors, it's probably a home win or draw. That's it. So Chelsea, Aston Villa, very, very, very interesting battle there this evening in the English Premier League. Let's get back to the fixtures. Okay, let's take a look and get back to the fixtures now, as it were, and talk about what will happen on Sunday. That's where they're going to play the other matches. Okay, yeah, the fixtures. Okay, I still know the load. Like, waiting the worry. Okay, all right. So yeah, so on Sunday. Everton will be taking on Southampton. West Ham will be taking on Nottingham Forest. This is going to be quite interesting because Nottingham Forest are still in the battle for the Champions League positions. Brentford will be up against Fulham. Leicester City, El Relegato. That's this match. Leicester City against Ipswich. El Relegato. So both of them, they don't relegate. So this is basically a championship match in the Premier League to wrap up the season. But I know the one that would interest Edgar. Arsenal will be up against Newcastle. Now, this is it a matter of pride? You can say for Arsenal, they basically have confirmed their time to be in the top 4. But Arsenal, Newcastle, Edgar, let us wrap up with this one.
Yes, I definitely think that this is a match Arsenal has to win. We have lost to Newcastle more than 2 or 3 times this season.
Who is we?
It is very important.
We?
Okay, when I mean we, Arsenal, the Arsenal fans, come on. We have lost to Newcastle 2 or 3 times, so this is a match that we must win. And also we're going to be revealing our new jersey. So yes, this is a good one for us to win. Please.
Who is we? We are who? Well, that's it. That's the size of what we have on the beautiful game this particular morning. It's going to be quite an interesting fixture, quite interesting match.